of fifth, soon to be sixth graders. This is probably going to be the last video that you're going to get from me. I am officially passing you off, cheering you on as you run into the student ministry world with your kiddo. This might be your first kid moving up to middle school, or it may be your last one, but I just wanted to take a few minutes to say how much I have loved and appreciated the time that I've gotten to spend with them in kids ministry, and just really encourage you in these coming months and years to stay strong, to fight the good fight, and help shape and disciple your child into somebody who loves Jesus and shines his light everywhere that they go. So I had a few things that I wanted to share with you, 3 T's as you prepare to move into middle school. And the first T is be tough. Now, when it comes to being tough, that can sound a little tough when it comes to being the parent of or the guardian of a teenager. But what that means is that they are these growing people in these bodies that are awkward, and they're figuring out all of these things. And there's certain times that you really need to be tough with them. And one of the first ones is helping them to be organized. As they move into middle school, the workload and the rhythm and the routine of everything just gets so big and so chaotic and so crazy, and they need your help staying on top of things. So even if it feels like you're writing them a little bit, ask them all the questions about where things are, help them keep their backpack organized, help them keep a calendar when it comes to assignments, and it'll really be a blessing for your kids as you are tough on them when it comes to organization. The other thing that I would really recommend being tough on is keeping church as a priority. When they move into middle school, commitments start to just explode between sports and clubs and instruments and friends, and it's really easy to allow Sundays and Wednesday night youth group to fall down to the bottom of the priority list. But I promise you, be tough at keeping those few hours a week a priority, because as they see it be a priority now when they're young, it will continue to be a priority for them as they get older. So keep them plugged in, keep them involved. Sometimes say no for them, but be tough in keeping church a priority. And then the last thing, especially in these teenage middle school years, is to be tough when it comes to their attitudes and their actions. They are going to be bombarded left and right with the world trying to tell them who it is that they are supposed to be. But you, as their parent or as their guardian who loves Jesus, you know that the ultimate shaper of our identity is Christ. So be tough when it comes to the attitudes and the actions that you expect to see them have, so that they can reflect Christ in everything that they do. So the next one is be tender. So the same way that you need to be tough, you have to remember to be tender with these sweet, they really still are kids. As tall as they get, they're still children. So the first way to be tender is to let them process with you. Become an amazing listener and studier of your kids. There's going to be so much that is happening in their world and in them, and they just need a safe place to process it. This means you don't always need to give them answers. You don't always need to give them suggestions, but just be a tender, good listener that always lets them process and just explore thoughts, feelings, emotions, and problems, and just be there for them. The second way to be tender is with grace and flexibility. Oh, they are going to make mistakes. It's going to be crazy and chaos, the things that they're going to forget, the bad choices they're going to make, the lack of common sense that can often happen in these early teenage years. And you have the amazing opportunity to show them grace when it comes to their attitudes and their feelings and their thoughts. You get to forgive them. You get to accept them. When they forget things, it's okay. You can pick up the pieces. When they break things, it's okay. It's just a thing. But you get to shine grace and flexibility in their lives. And then the last way to be tender is with compassion and care. This world that our kids are growing up in is completely different than the one that we all grew up in. Be compassionate. They are hearing things and they are seeing things that can be so scary and frightening and confusing. We don't need to freak out. You don't need to freak out on their behalf, but instead respond with compassion, care, and love, and continue to point them back to Jesus. The last thing is to be together. This time when your child is in middle school is one of the most crucial when it comes to the formation of who they're going to be as a person. And you are the one that has the most influence and gets to shape them the most. And so when we make the most of the time that we have together, it really helps to lay that solid, godly foundation that we want for our kids as they grow up and eventually leave our homes. So the first be together time is meal time. Whatever you do, however you can do it, have meals together. If it feels like nighttime is too crazy, have it for breakfast. Make a point on the weekends that you always sit down and have a meal together. When you do that, you are showing your teenager that it is important for you to spend time together as a family. I would even venture to say it's better to have a meal when you're all together in the car, but you're eating together in the car than to have people being off on their separate ways. And speaking of that, the second be together time is your drive times. Since your kids are in middle school, that means they can't drive themselves anywhere. So when you are in the car, they are a captive audience. Make the most of those drive times. Pepper them with questions. Have conversations. Share things about yourself. Ask them for stories. You share stories. Find out what's going on in their lives. But really make those drive times intentional connection times. And then the last together time is Bible time. You will never hear me say you need to make sure that you have an hour every day that you're having family devotional. That's a lot of pressure. But when I tell you that when your kids see you reading the Bible, when you have some sort of Bible interaction together, you read a verse at dinner or you read a verse at bedtime or you post a verse in their bathroom in the mirror in the morning or something like that. Every moment that you're engaging in your home with the scriptures is going to be a moment that will shape your kid and will help them grow up into somebody who really loves and values and follows God's word. So those 3 T's for moving into 6th grade: be tough, be tender, and be together. I really, really hope that you will continue to engage with us at Westwood as your child moves into middle school. We've got middle school youth group, which meets on Wednesday nights, the same time that Awana was, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We would love to have your kids come to that. It's going to be an incredible time for them to grow in their faith and grow in relationship with other people who love Jesus. They have a small group leader that invests in them and loves them and is so excited to be with them. This summer, those Wednesdays turn into summer fun nights. So they actually aren't really having lessons. It's just fun get together and hang out time. So please, any Wednesday that you are in town, be coming to those summer fun nights. On Sunday mornings, your middle schooler is invited to our middle and high school Sunday school class that meets at 9 o'clock. And it's led by Brian and Trish Van Cleve. And it is an incredible, awesome time where these kids are growing in their faith, they're growing in the scriptures, and they're growing together. And so please, please make sure that that's a priority. You'll start getting emails from student ministry inviting you to different student events, and that is going to be awesome. But I will let you know, there will be things that you'll see that are for all parents and families, not just students, but you'll see things that are for the whole family. And so please make sure that you're checking those things out as well. I love you guys. I am praying for you. Anytime you need anything, please feel free to come to me. But I am really looking forward to launching you now into middle school.